Right. Hello, everyone. It's me, LaTara Venise, and I am here with another Color Your Soul interview, CYS interview series. We've had Sue McGee, Ashley Saws, and Teresa Horn so far, and today we have Daphne Swenson. She happens to be a part of the team, so I'm super excited to have her today, and I'm super excited to talk to her about her journey through Color Your Soul. I'll be bringing more women on as they go through the 21-day detoxes or flow through any part of the Color Your Soul process. Maybe they're private clients or something like that, but I really want to be able to highlight the women who are doing the work of healing. So, hey, Daphne.
Hey, LaTara.
How are you?
What's going on? I'm good. Happy to be here.
Good, good. So we have looks like maybe about a 3 to 5 second lag. So just so you know, just about 3 to 5 seconds.
Okay.
You know, the technology, they say it's good, it's wonderful, but they need to get this lagging stuff together. They need to get this live streaming together. They need to get this stuff together so we don't have a lag. We'll be right on it. I call that lag.
Right.
You know, Facebook's supposed to be the dominating social media force, and I'll be waiting 5 minutes for a comment to come through on a live. I'll be on a whole other topic, and people coming through talking about, I just talked about that 10 minutes ago. Where you coming from? So anyway. So Daphne, we didn't start this journey with Color Your Soul. This journey started with Igniters, right? Back
Yes.
in 2016. You were, I believe, one of my first mentees when I became a mentor for the Igniters program, right?
Wow.
Yeah, you were one of the first group of mentees that I had. So we've been together for a minute, girl.
Yeah, going on, what, 3 years? 4
Going
years?
on for about 4 years now. It's been 3
4 years.
already. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to think we started this journey, you didn't like me.
Nope, I didn't. No,
Why
I
you
didn't
didn't
like you.
why you didn't like me?
You
I
know,
know, but for the people, let's tell them.
well, the story goes, I had reached out to Igniters to be an igniter. And you know how we always say God give us this nudging to do something. And God always wakes me up out of my sleep because he know I won't do it. So he will wake me up out of my sleep and I send these crazy emails or I'll do something and then wake up like, okay, what did I do? And it was the same thing with Igniters. And I reached out to Shay to be an igniter and signed up for the Igniters mentoring. Well, I asked her if she had a mentoring program, and she told me about Igniters, and I signed up and went through that whole process, and then was told that I was going to be assigned a mentor, and I kind of thought my mentor was going to be Shay. That's why I reached out to her. And when she told me that I was going to be assigned a mentor and gave me the links, I went and looked up everybody who was on a team, and I immediately went to you, and I was like, nah, I can have her. No, I don't want her. And I had never met you. I never even heard anything about you. I had never even heard of your page or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that something kind of triggered in me that now I know it was something that I didn't want to deal with, at that time. And it was like, don't want her. So, yeah, and I did. But then I got you. Oddly enough, when I got the email, it said LaTara, and I was like, oh my God, I got her anyway. And then, I sent the rebuttal email.
Yes, you did.
To Shay.
Yeah.
Yes, they never got her, the rebuttal email telling her that this was not what it was, and she needed to go back to Jesus and ask again and reassign me, and she never got it. So, as we say, Jesus was answering, but I wasn't listening.
So you told Shay, you told God, she ain't the one. You made clearly God, Shay made a mistake. That's not who you showed her. I know you don't make a mistake, but Shay made a mistake, God. That's what happened. So let me contact Shay because I'd rather work with her, right, than to work with LaTara. You didn't know me. You had never met me. You had never heard me speak, teach, any of that. You didn't know anything about me other than I was an Igniter's mentor. Nothing.
Yeah. And then I knew your name. And that was only by when she assigned it. Yep.
Yeah, that's all you knew. You didn't know anything about me, right?
Nope, not at the
So,
okay.
okay. So here we are 3 years later. And the funny thing is that encounter really started your healing process because you realized some stuff, and that was
Right.
that you didn't particularly care for Black women.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So Shay
Yeah,
was
I was a black
the lesser
woman.
of two evils because she wasn't as loud as me. She calmer.
She wasn't right. She wasn't as so-called black as you were. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, my hair was short. I was black, right? I was black. And then when you
Yeah.
talk to me, you learn, oh gosh, she's black.
Yes.
Right?
Right. Uh-huh.
So
Right.
so
Stereotypical black, as they say, yeah.
yeah, so people think stereotypical,
Right. That's what they think. Exactly.
right?
Mhm.
And so that's what you thought, right? But then you got to know me. And the funny thing is you get 6 sessions as an igniter and you only showed up for 3.
3. Yeah. My first 90 days, I don't think I showed up
No,
for
you
at least
showed up for a couple.
2. The,
Maybe,
the
yeah,
last month.
2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see you at
Yeah.
all the
Okay.
first
It,
month.
it was 3. It was 3 because one of them I showed up, but I didn't talk and I wouldn't get on video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Mhm.
gave me a hard time, all because you didn't like Black women. So through your healing process, right? And we're talking about this not to be funny, but you guys need to understand that the healing process meant she had to learn how to like Black women and figure out why she didn't like her own kind. What was
Right.
it about me and Black women that irritated her? Can you share a little bit about what that was?
Okay, so now I know that what irritated me in regards to Black women was the relationships that I had with Black women growing up and
Mm-hmm.
all out through my life, that they
Mm-hmm.
were not positive relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Black women deal with that. And it was a lot of relationships that were um, emotionally violent,
Mm-hmm.
filled with anger, competition, just different types of things. So I would rather not deal with
Yeah.
those type of things. In
Mm-hmm.
other words, I was running from the confrontation of what I thought was confrontation in dealing with Black women,
Mm-hmm.
and everything from family members to people who I did business with. It just it spiraled and triggered
Mm-hmm.
different things. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's good. I love that. I love that whole thing. And so tell us some of the work. I know what you've done, but tell us some of the work you've done to get to a place to where, you know what, I think I like LaTara and other Black women too. Tell us some of the work.
Well, it's I had to really deal with myself and to really figure out what the real problem was
Mm-hmm.
and what was really going on, and deal with each issue at itself and not just put everything in like one lump sum. And
Mm-hmm.
then at the same time, I was raising a Black girl. So how
Mm-hmm.
can you raise a Black girl and you not like Black women because I'm raising one?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I was saying that I didn't like myself, if you thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
because I was so I had to deal with the inner issues
Mm-hmm.
first. I
Mm-hmm.
had to deal with the outer issues of
Mm-hmm.
everything. So everything from dealing with why I didn't like myself first, because
Mm-hmm.
God never dealt with me. He never dealt with me on, and He still doesn't deal with me on what I don't like or what I'm not comfortable with other people.
Uh-huh.
He always, it's always an inner reflection. So it's
Mm-hmm.
always like, so what are you gonna do about this? What are we gonna work with within you? So
Mm-hmm.
I had to release some bitterness, some anger, some self-confidence issues, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times that's what it is. When you're in a space and a place and you don't feel relevant, you don't have an identity. So, you go
Mm-hmm.
into rooms and spaces where you feel like you kind of like shrink in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a fight. You start to fight within yourself. And so it's an outer fight. It comes out as an outer fight. and you have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done everything. I'm just really dealing with myself in different layers of things.
That's
So.
good. I love that. And you said something when you said shrink in, because a big part of the reason why, and y'all excuse me with the hair, it's making my forehead itch. I'm having one of them 5.0 days. For y'all that don't know, I'm 50 and I call myself version 5.0. And so I'm having this day and I'm like, oh God, I'm itching. What's going on? What's happening? And so I'm trying to, stay calm. And it's just irritating. It's just irritating to me. That's all. And Daphne knows me. That's why we having this type of interview, right? So anyway. Oh gosh. Okay. So anyway, you mentioned shrinking back and shrinking in. And I know that you and I had an encounter back in January of 2017, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was January 2017 when you came to the Igniters Gathering. Because you went to 2 Igniters Gatherings.
Right.
So the second one you came
Right.
to, I was at, right? We talked about, I remember walking past you because you really didn't like to shine. You hid yourself so much, right? Really just up until the last few months, to tell the truth, right? So you're just really starting to come out. So I walked by you and remember I backed up and I said, your name is Freedom. And I just kept going. Not knowing what the whole weekend was about, and a whole lot came out that weekend, and it really shifted some things for you to such a point that when you went back to St. Louis, you didn't go back to the same space you left.
Right. I didn't go back to the same place that I lived in. Exactly.
Right. You didn't go back to the same space you dwelled in. God told you had to go, right? And so
Literally,
what was that like for you? And how did it lead you to a place to where now you say, my name is Freedom?
It was, that day in itself was, it was scary because when you walk past and you said it, it was like, I don't know what she's talking about. I ain't trying to hear her for real, because it was like, okay, if my name is Freedom, then that means that I got to release some stuff. And it was like, was I ready to release what I needed to release? And that was like the beginning of the Igniters, gathering. And I know about Igniters gatherings, and that meant that it was going to be some stuff that happened and some stuff that came out. And I didn't really know if I was prepared for it. So I was literally scared to actually begin to embrace the name of Freedom. So when you said it, I was like, okay. But God, by the end of the Igniters event, God was like, you have to. It's not about if you want to, you have to, because if you do not embrace this, I was literally going to die. If I went back to the same space and place that I left from, I was literally going to die. And if I was ready to die, then okay, then don't embrace freedom. But if I wasn't, then I had to embrace it.
Right. So you chose life, right?
Yeah, I chose, literally.
You chose life. You literally chose life. And that was what was so powerful. And it really started the whole process for your healing. And I remember you were a part of my free community. And then when we did the very first Soul Detox, you were like, I'm in. And you joined, right? I remember that. And for those who don't know what a soul detox is, it's just what it says. It's like a physical detox for your soul. It truly is a physical detox for your soul. So that has been an integral part in your change. And so as we begin to kind of wrap this up a little bit, tell people about your experience with a soul detox and some of the layers that have been peeled off of you so far.
Okay, so my experience with the Soul Detox, I would say at the beginning of the Soul Detox, I was completely cluttered. So much so that I really didn't know what I needed to address. And the first detox was actually breaking the chains off of my inability to heal. So that was the first Soul Detox. And it was actually preparing me for the process of healing. And through the continual process of continuing the soul detoxes, because I've done several, now, and I've been able to heal from a relationship with my dad, who he passed, He
Mm-hmm.
just recently passed.
Yes.
And before that, we hadn't even spoke. Before that, we had never really had a conversation. And in that, I was able to release the bitterness and anger that I've had towards him. I've
Mm-hmm.
actually been able to connect with my daughter in a way to help her walk through certain processes that she's dealing with her father, as well as other relationships that she's having as well with other peers who are African American women.
Mm-hmm.
So it helped me to become not only spiritually and emotionally well, but also physically well as well.
Mm-hmm.
So walking through that process of releasing certain layers have got me to a point to where I was almost completely disabled at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't walk, couldn't really do for myself, and was on oxygen 24 hours a day at the highest level possible. Now to the point to where I'm actually able to function emotionally, spiritually, and physically, in a place to where I am actually in freedom. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's been my journey to actually, as I said, my journey to freedom. That's what it's been.
Good stuff. That's good. And you've had a shift and an integration in how you do business. You've had a shift in how you're showing
Yes.
up for people. And that's been really good too, because now you're really looking at, okay, how do I teach this thing of dysfunction? Because that's what God has you teaching on, right? So what has it been
Right.
like for you to walk in that shift? What has that looked like?
For me to walk in the shift of dysfunction, and we know that family dysfunction, any kind of dysfunction, is uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to and walk in it has allowed me to not only walk in a place in a space of my own freedom from dysfunction, but actually be able to shift and allow and to help other people identify their own levels of dysfunction and actually work with them on their own family dysfunction as well as their business dysfunction. So actually working with those who are in the nonprofit arena, who are founders of nonprofits,
Mm-hmm.
who are actually having their own levels of dysfunction. So that's why their businesses are not functioning the way that they want them to function,
That's
because they
good.
have some inner dysfunction that's showing up in their
Mm-hmm.
business dysfunction.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And you work with nonprofit entrepreneurs, correct? And social.
Yep. Social
Okay.
entrepreneurs, nonprofit entrepreneurs, who are those founders who are
Okay.
actually starting and beginning nonprofit organizations.
Okay, good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Wow. So if you were to tell someone why they need to get involved with the Color Your Soul process, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that they need to get involved because everybody has a gray area
Mm-hmm.
in their soul that needs to be colored.
Wow.
And there is an area in your life, in multiple areas of life, to where there is some grayness, something that is not shining, something that's being hidden, or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere that you're shrinking that needs to be released in
Mm-hmm.
order for you, your family, and the world to experience who you are. So I would say that if you need to get involved because you yourself are not experiencing the full experience of yourself, as well as those around you are not
Mm-hmm.
experiencing the full level of yourself. And so the Color Your Soul community and the 21 Day Soul Detox actually helps you to prepare to be physically, mentally, and emotionally present. So that's why you need to actually, become a part of it.
That's good stuff. I appreciate you, Daphne, for taking this time out to speak with us. I'm pretty sure, well, you will be back because I'm going to be interviewing the team, and I are going to be doing a year-end review and what we're looking forward to in 2020. And Daphne is a part of our team. She'll be a more integral part next year as she shifts into what God is telling her to do. We've just been waiting on that little shift, and that girl is there. I'm so happy. Woo, Jesus. So we can shift her over into something different. And I'm super excited, and it'll be more so in the area of prayer. And so I'm really, really excited for that. So because I've always wanted a prayer, a portion where prayer is key to helping people to heal. So I'm excited to have you. I can't quite figure out how that looks yet, because it's different than just a typical prayer intercessor, but we'll see what God says, right? So, all right. So Daphne, you. Thank you so much for joining me. Let them know how they can contact you before we leave.
You can contact me on Facebook. Freedom's Journey with Daphne Pettis is where I am on Facebook. Or if you are in the nonprofit arena and you are a social entrepreneur looking for assistance with taking your nonprofit from dysfunctional to functional in the nonprofit arena, I can be reached at On Good Ground Strategic Solutions.
Good stuff. All right. On Facebook too, right?
On Facebook too. Yep. Website coming soon on both of those.
And you're also on Instagram with is it, tell me again what it is.
I'm on Instagram at On Good Ground Strategic Solutions.
I thought it was
and
Good
as
Ground.
well as On Good Ground Strategic Solutions, and Freedom's Journey as well on both of those.
All right. So you guys find her on those channels. Trust me, you won't be sorry. So thank you, Daphne, so much for joining me. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.